her for quite a while now, and she was cajoled and encouraged by us to speak with us this morning, and I'm very pleased, very happy to have her.
Good morning. I thought of a million ways to start this and abandoned most of them, so I'm just going to plunge in. I'm new to the UU and all of the things that encompasses, so I want you to kind of come with me and buy my premise, at least for right now. In my family, we all loved movies. We loved them so much that two members of my immediate family have actually been in movies. And we always had the saying, you have to buy the premise if you don't, think you can get with the movie. Just buy the premise and keep going. And I remember it was when West Side Story was winning all kinds of Academy Awards, and my brother stomped in saying, no movie can possibly be that good. And we all said to him, but you have to see it, you have to buy the premise. And he said, thugs don't walk around in New York doing ballet and singing. But then his girlfriend got him to see the movie, and he came back sheepishly and said, yeah, it was pretty good, he guessed it was okay. So he bought the premise, so I'm asking you to do that as well. If you had asked me when I was 4 or so what a sacred space was, if I had even any concept of that, I probably would have said, well, it's Dundee Presbyterian Church in Omaha, Nebraska, because that's where we went to church. And, they had that picture of Jesus on the wall, so that it had to be the real deal. And I bought it, hook, line, and sinker. And then a few years later, we went to my grandfather's cabin in way north Minnesota, about 7 or 10 miles from Canada, so way north. And it was a rustic cabin, no water, which you can, in a minute, think about what that entails. No running water in the cabin, no electricity. It was just 4 walls. And it looked out on this most beautiful lake. And as I grew, because we went every year and spent 3 weeks there in the summer, I grew to think that maybe that was a sacred space. The trees, the water, the lapping of the lake against the shore, the animals. I mean, I'd never heard a loon, and then the first time I heard it, I was little and it scared me, and my grandfather explained to me, and then he and I watched, and the loon dove down, and I was looking right where it dove down, and he said, no, look way out, further, still look further out, because they can swim incredible distances underwater. And it finally popped up way out there. It was incredible. There was much to learn about living that way with no running water and no electricity, and there for 3 weeks. It wasn't so much that we thought about the pioneers and their struggles, it was just the way we did that cabin. And it was a fabulous education in many, many ways. Then as I got older, I kind of lost any thought of sacred spaces or really of God or anything, and went to college, and that kind of pushed me further away, even though it was a small Presbyterian college. And then I met my first husband, and he had very sure things that he followed and believed, and I was to fall in line with those thoughts and beliefs. And I tried to. I did some of the best I could, but it wasn't enough. And I didn't sleep well last night, and when I finally did fall asleep, I had a nightmare about arguing with him. So you can tell kind of what relationship there was there. It was difficult. And he took our kids to church, and they fell into line with his thoughts. And he's one of the people celebrating Tuesday night. So you can tell our lives became totally different, and our separation was probably good for not only my mental health, but possibly his. Because I was suddenly, out of nowhere, I don't know where, gaining strength to start to be who I was. And I guess I could say it was partly due to a pastor at the church that we went to. And he and I had long talks, and his wife and I had longer talks. And while they were very dedicated to their Reformed faith, they allowed questions back and forth, and that was great. But I think they helped me find my way. And we finally separated and went our own ways, and I only feel bad that it kind of made it hard for my kids. But they're strong and resilient, and they are fine. They are adults and their own people, and they've made all this work. And this was supposed to be longer, but apparently I've left something out. So I have an ending by the religious leader Gilda Radner, AKA Rosanna Dana. But this is something she wrote after she got sick. And she wrote a lot of very thoughtful things after she got sick. And this is what she said, quote, "I wanted a perfect ending. Now I've learned the hard way that some poems don't rhyme and some stories don't have a clear beginning, middle, and end. Life is about not knowing, having to change, taking the moment and making the best of it without knowing what's going to happen next." And I think that fits all of us now. We have to be strong, know that things are going to work out, that things will get better, and we will muddle through.